you. All of the things you said to me, it seems like you like me too. We can take it slow, make sure we do this right. Canceled all my plans to be with you tonight. So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me.
Well, that was an absolute feast, absolutely stuffed. First barbecue in probably about 2 months, because it's not stopped raining up here in the north of England for about 2 months. So how was your barbecue?
Very nice.
Very nice. Favourite bit?
Sweet corn.
Sweet corn. Did you know there is no nutritional value in sweet corn at all?
I do now.
You do?
I do.
Interesting fact of the day. So I was thinking the other day, it has been about 18 months, coming up to 2 years since I started my YouTube channel. And starting YouTube is one of the best things I've ever done. As much as I find it frustrating sometimes, it is one of the best things I've ever done. But it's got to the point recently where I've wanted to try and take my videos to the next level a bit. And it's taken me this time to try and figure out how I can do that. So I wanted to talk about 2 things that I've learned in the last few weeks that hopefully, if you're thinking of starting YouTube as well, or making any sort of videos, even if it's just for yourself, hopefully these will help you out a little bit. Okay, so even though I have been on YouTube for coming up to 2 years now, I still class myself as a beginner YouTuber. I'm still learning a hell of a lot about making videos, about filmmaking and all of that. There is so much to it, and I don't think anyone ever knows everything, but yeah, I'm still learning a hell of a lot. But this last few weeks, as I said before, I wanted to try and learn how to take my videos to the next level a bit. Everyone is always looking to make their videos that little bit more cinematic and just to look better. So these 2 things are 2 things that I've started doing these last few weeks, and I think it's made a difference, but I'll leave you to be the judge of that. So the first one is aspect ratio. Now you are watching this video right now in a 2:1 aspect ratio, and there is a few reasons for that. Cameras don't record in a 2:1 aspect ratio. They record in 16:9, and that is what typically videos are viewed in as well. But more and more recently, over the years, phones have been getting longer and narrower. That means that when you're watching a video on your phone, you get 2 black bars down the side of your phone, just like this. Now this is one of my old YouTube videos from a few months back, and you can see down here you got the 2 black bars down each side of the phone, and if you zoom in like that, then it fills the whole screen. But by doing that, that is a 16:9 aspect ratio. That is typically what all videos are viewed and filmed in. And leaving the black bars, because that is the standard video width, there's so much room on your phone left that could be used, but it's not being used. And also, videos are being viewed on YouTube on your phone more than ever before. People will watch YouTube on their phone more than any other device while they're traveling, before they go to bed. Anytime they watch YouTube, they're more likely to pick up their phone than they are to sit and watch videos on their I've forgotten what it's called, computer. People do watch it on TVs, but more often than not, people watch videos on their phone. So by switching to a 2:1 aspect ratio, the videos then look like this. So this is one of my most recent videos, and you can see that the black bars are much smaller down the side of the phone because I've switched to that 2:1 aspect ratio. And if I zoom in, then it still fills the whole phone, but that little black bar down the side is much smaller, so it makes it a much more immersive experience to sit and watch a video on your mobile phone. It does make a massive difference, and I will show you now. So right now you're watching this in a 2:1 aspect ratio. If I do this and pull in the sides, Now you're watching it in 16:9, and you can see that it does look a lot more cramped together, and by switching to that 2:1 it looks a lot wider. Even when you are watching it on a computer or a TV, it will look a lot wider. So you know when people put the black bars at the top and the bottom just like this? That is effectively what they're doing. They are trying to create that 2:1 aspect ratio. But by actually switching to a 2:1 aspect ratio when you are editing your videos, that eliminates the need for any black bars at the top. The black bars look cool, but by switching to a 2:1 aspect ratio, you don't need to use them because you are effectively watching it in widescreen already. So it is very, very quick and easy to switch to that 2:1 aspect ratio. All you have to do is record it in 16:9 on your camera as normal, as you normally would. But then when you go into Final Cut or Pro Tools, DaVinci, whatever you're using to edit your video, you need to change to a 2:1 aspect ratio in your timeline. So that is a 3840 by 1920 resolution in your timeline, and I will very quickly show you how to do that in Final Cut right now. So it really is that simple to change your aspect ratio when you are editing, and it does make a massive difference. It does help your video look a bit more cinematic because it's filling the whole screen. It's a lot more widescreen. Yes, you're cutting off the top and the bottom, but if you frame everything correctly, it looks a lot better. So the second thing that I've learned in the last few weeks, and it makes a huge difference, is picture profiles. Now, no matter what camera you are using, there are picture profiles. Right now I'm using the Canon M6 Mark II, and that comes with a load of different picture profiles such as standard, neutral, faithful, portrait. There's loads I think there's about 8 different ones, but there is also 3 custom ones. Now you can go in and customize all of the preset profiles, but by having these 3 fully customizable profiles, you can then download third-party picture profiles and put them on your camera, so then you can record in these. And these make a huge difference, and I didn't realize how much of a difference it makes. So what I'm going to go and do now is I'm going to go for a walk with Holly. We're going to take the camera, we're going to get some different shots, record in some different picture profiles, and then we could come back here at the end and we will talk through them. Strange what you see when you're out filming. I've never seen anyone else filming a vlog while I've been doing YouTube, and I've been doing it for 2 years now. I've never seen anyone else do it. There's a man just walked down there. He was filming a YouTube video. It was amazing, good to see. Anyway, yes, picture profiles. So I'm going to film the same shot 3 times in 3 different picture profiles, and then after that we'll go home and I will talk you through them. So I'm going to film it in standard, neutral, and as well the Cinestyle, Cine-like, I've forgotten what it's called, Cine-like, whichever one it's called, that I downloaded onto one of the customizable profiles. I will shoot in that as well, and I shall talk you through it. And yeah, I'm going to get Holly to walk down there 3 times, each in a different picture profile. So let's get into it.
You make me nervous. I think I might be hooked on you. All of the things you said to me, it seems like you like me too. Can take it slow, make sure we do this right. Canceled all my plans to be with you tonight.
those 3 clips might not mean anything to you at the moment, but you might have noticed a little bit of a different way in the way they looked. They all looked slightly different. So what I'm going to go and do now is go home, upload them onto the computer and tell you what I mean by them all, and show you how they can make a massive difference as to the way your videos look, and you can make them look a little bit more cinematic depending on which picture profile you use. So I shall see you at home. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully you could see the difference between those 3 different colour profiles. There are lots of other different ones that you will be able to choose from on your camera, but I just chose 3 so I could get across the point to you. The profiles will depend on what camera you're using as well. So for me, I'm using a Canon. If you're using a Sony, they will be a little bit different. So to put it very basically, a picture profile is effectively the colours that the camera is recording, and it has effect on the dynamic range as well. So for example, if there's a load of dark patches, you've got a load of shadows, might be a load of trees, and above it you've got a bright sky. There is a big dynamic range there that your camera has got to pick up on, and if your sensor can't cope with it, then you're going to really struggle, and you're going to get either very washed out images or very dark images, depending which you choose to focus your exposure on. What picture profiles do is they allow you to adapt to this. So for example, if you're shooting a landscape, you can choose the landscape picture profile and it will give you the best colours possible. But what it's always best to do is to shoot on a flat picture profile. Now this is something that you only get on the expensive cameras, so the Canon EOS R for example, and above that, full frame cameras you will get log. Log is the picture profile that you want to use, or raw. But on cheaper cameras like my Canon M6 Mark II, the lower end cameras, you don't get a log profile. Now I believe you do get a log on all of the Sony cameras, but with Canon you don't. So I downloaded this Cinestyle colour profile, which effectively it gives me a kind of flat profile. Now it's not perfect at all, but what it does give you is a flat bed to work from, and then you can change that in post when you're editing. So when you've shot it in your camera in Cinestyle and you put it straight into your Final Cut or Pro Tools, whatever you're using, it will look very grey and not great at all. But then you can play around with your exposures and your saturation, stick on a LUT in there if you want to, and it will look a ton better. I've shot this whole video in Cinestyle. Apart from those 2 clips that I shot in standard and neutral, I've shot this whole video in Cinestyle, so it gives me that flat colour bed to work from. Then edited all the exposures, the saturation I stuck on a LUT on top, and it makes the colours look a lot better. So if you can, as a beginner filmmaker or YouTube creator, it is very complicated to use all these. Now the standard colour profiles might be absolutely great for you. If you don't want to do any colour editing and things like that, the standard profile looks great. But again, if you want to take your videos to the next level and start messing around with colours and editing in different ways, try your best to shoot in a flat colour profile. Now I have linked the Cinestyle down below if you're using a Canon camera, and go and check it out. Upload it onto one of your customizable presets and give it a go. Play around with some colours and just have fun with it. Now again, it's not essential, but it really does help if you want your videos to look a little bit more cinematic, to use that flat colour profile, because then you have a lot more room to work with. So I hope this video has been useful. I hope you've gained a little bit of information from it. If you have, click that thumbs up button just down below there, click that little subscribe button, and yeah, as I said, I'm also still a beginner with all this, so I'm still learning a lot about it as well, but hopefully it's made sense and it's helped you out a little bit as well. So yeah, I shall see you all very soon in another video.